Stop trying to be like your homegirls. Stop trying to be like your homeboys. That ain't what's happening. Look where you came from. You chase trends, they chase likes. Whole crew lost in the blue light. You got roots way deeper than that. Why you copying kids who don't know facts? Open up the scroll, see the names. Abraham, Sarah, in the frame. That's your line, that's your blood. You were carved out clean from a holy love. Look to the rock, yeah, the rock you were hewn from. Praise y'all, that's the real business where you're true from. Your homeboys, homegirls, they don't know squat. If you wanna be on point, better aim at the rock. Look to the rock, yeah, the rock you were hewn from. Praise y'all, that's the real business. You chasing their way, but they just stuck on the dot. If you wanna be about this life, better look to the rock. Isaiah on the page, that's a street sign. Listen to me, that's a baseline. He said, look back where you started at. Face so strong, you can't market that. Good examples, that's the blueprint. Covenant cut, yeah, that's imprint. When the world get loud, let them all talk. You stay still, stand firm on the rock. Yeah, the rock you were hewn from. Praise y'all, that's the real business where you're true from. Your homeboys, homegirls, they don't know squat. If you wanna be on point, better aim at the rock. Yeah, the rock you were hewn from. Praise y'all, that's the real business. You chasing their way, but they just stuck on the dot. If you wanna be about this life, better look to the right. That's what's up, that's what's up. Not they hype, but it's love. You want life, count that cost. Praise y'all, and shake that block. Yeah, the rock you were hewn from. Praise y'all, that's the real business where you're true from. Your homeboys, homegirls, they don't know squat. If you wanna be on point, better aim at the rock. Yeah, the rock you were hewn from. Praise y'all, that's the real business. Good example show you how to live this right. Praise y'all, the rock that got you boss this life. Yeah.
All right. All right. Good night. My name is Yam Sufa Aria, and this is the Real Talk for Real People program. A program designed to study the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and certainly study his chosen people. Along with that, the enemies of the Most High. Because for all intents and purposes, they still are the enemies of the Most High, along with his chosen people also. Not only I, but my lovely Isha, Lasagna, who is the administrator of the show, this program. And she lends her voice into the ethos by way of her comments and her commentaries. Also, Elder Sister Thais, another daughter of the, along with that, Brother Cottrell, a fellow elder from New York City. We're one of the student instructors also. And the reason why I said student instructors, because our studies are ongoing and continuing. As your studies should be ongoing and continuing. But so it seems, Elder Sister Thais is not with us for the moment, nor Brother Cottrell. So based upon that, the son and I will proceed into the studies. And perhaps either one of them come on, we will bring them right on. The format of the studies will proceed as I begin the studies in the book of Bereshit, whom you call by the Greco-Roman, English, Dutch, Portuguese, so on and so forth, means Genesis, chapter 18. Now, if Brother Cottrell comes on, he will end the segment of studies tonight in the book of Yeshayahu. You might be unfamiliar with his name, Yeshayahu, but it's the actual name for this brother, not the Greco-Roman, English, Dutch, Portuguese, French, Spanish name Isaiah that you might be more familiar with. Chapter 17, proclamation against Syria in Israel. So without further ado, let us get started into the study. Turn back to Bereshit chapter. You put my notation up, a marker, bear with me. And turn back to Bereshit chapter 18. So let us get started. Then Yah appeared to him, who? Abraham, by representatives. The terebinth tree of Maris, as he was sitting in a tent door, sitting in his tent door, in the heat of the day. It was rather hot. So he lifted his eyes and looked. These representatives of Yah. Behold, 3 men were standing by him, these angels. And when he saw them, he ran from the tent door to meet them. His humility, the rock we were hewn from. He was a humble man and bowed himself to the ground. And he said to these angels, my Lord, if I've now found favor in your sight, do not pass on by you. So don't keep going. If I found favor in your sight, don't keep stop. Wait a minute. Please let a little water be brought and wash your feet and rest yourselves under the tree. And I will bring a morsel of bread. I'm going to get your faith. He knew how to exercise hospitality, unlike some of us. That's the rock we were hewn from. That you may refresh your hearts. After that, you may pass by, insomuch as you've come to your service. And these angels, they said, do as you have said. So Abraham hurried to the tent to Sarah, his wife, and said, quickly, make ready 3 measures of fine meal, not no hand-me-down. Knead it and make cakes. And Abraham ran to his herd. He took a tender and good calf, not any old messy old trashy old thing, and gave it to a young man, to a butcher. And he hastened to prepare it. So he took butter and milk and the calf which he had prepared and set it before them, those angels. He was still humble, the rock we were hewn from. He stood by them under the trees as they ate. Then they said to him, he didn't break into the conversation. They spoke to him first. Where's Sarah, your wife? So he says, here in the tent. And he said, I will certainly return to you according to the time of life. And behold, Sarah, your wife, shall have a son. Now, Sarah like some of our women, they like to be privy to information. So Sarah overheard this conversation. Sarah was listening in the tent door, while was which was behind him, Abraham. Now Abraham and Sarah were old, well advanced in age, and Sarah had passed the age of childbearing. She was past the age where she could bear children. Therefore, Sarah laughed within herself. She laughed within herself. She didn't sprawl out laughing. She chuckled within herself, saying to herself, after I've grown old, after hearing the conversation, shall I have pleasure, meaning sex? I'm too old for that. My Lord being old also, I'm too old for that. And to bear children also with this pleasure? No. And Yah said to Abraham by way of these ambassadors of Yah, these angels, why did Sarah laugh? She laughed to herself, saying, speaking to herself, shall I surely bear a child since I'm old? Well, that's funny. And the response was, is anything too hard for Yah? Think about that for a minute. He is the creator of the universe. The creator of the universe can make what he want to do, how he want to do it, when he want to do it. It's just that simple. So he puts Sarah in a position that she has to ponder this matter. And we should all be in that position to ponder this matter relative to our own lives and experiences. Is anything too hard for Yah? Think about that. No. At the appointed time, I will return to you according to the time of life. And Sarah shall have a son. I'm Yah. I can make it happen, so to speak. And as Sarah, being the woman she was, because she was embarrassed, I suspect, she denied it. No, I ain't said nothing like that. I didn't laugh. And the reason why she justified her position, because she was afraid that she was found out by these representatives of Yah. And she was afraid. How did they know I was laughing to myself? And the reason why she denied saying that, because, wow, these guys must be from Yah. And so she was afraid. And he said, no, you did laugh. You might have not laughed out loud, Sarah, but you did laugh. Abraham, let's get another look at Abraham, the type of man he was. Now, we all know about Sodom and Gomorrah, right? But Abraham intercedes for Sodom, unlike some of us. And we knew some of us, how we would feel us being in a bad spot, a bad place. And we knew the Most High was coming to knock out that bad place. I suspect a whole lot of said, oh, y'all burn that SOB down. It's true. Quite unlike Abraham. He was compassionate, even for the Sodomites and the Gomorrites. So here's how the interchange of conversation goes to show his compassion. Then the men rose there, these angels, and looked toward Sodom because they had another mission. And Abraham went with them to send them on their way, to walk with them away. He said, send them on their way. And Yah said, by way of these angels, shall I hide from Abraham what I'm doing? I'm not going to hide anything from my intention with Sodom and Gomorrah. Since Abraham should surely become a great and mighty nation, I'm not going to hide anything from him. And all the nations of the earth should be blessed by him. For I've known him in order that he may command his children and his household after him. What? That they keep the way of Yah. And what is that way? This is the type of man he is. So I'm not going to hide anything from Abraham because he's going to do these things. He will help set these things into motion. And what he's going to do is to do righteousness. That's what he's going to teach him. And justice. That Yah may bring to Abraham what he has spoken to him. That covenant, that contract. I know he's going to be on point. And Yah said, he speaks to Abraham by way of these representatives, these angels. Because the outcry against Sodom and Gomorrah is great. Because their sin is grave. The sin which they're speaking about is sodomy. And a whole lot more means going on around there. But sodomy is one of them. And we'll find that out in future studies. So, and Yah considers sodomy a grave abomination. He says, Yah said, I will go down now and see whether, I'm going to see for myself, they have done all together. They're all in this unified, according to the outcry against them that has come to me, Yah says. If not, I will know. I'm just hearing this by second hand, but I want to get a bird's eye view on this situation. I will know. I'm going to be fair about this. Then the angels turned away from there and went toward Sodom, their other mission. But Abraham still stood before Yah. Remember, 2 men went into Sodom and Gomorrah, 2 angels. I suspect he was talking to the one left there, this representative of Yah. So Abraham is speaking to this angel. And he says, Abraham stood before Yah. And Abraham came near and said, would you also destroy righteousness? Righteous with the wicked? Suppose there were 50 righteous within the city. Would you also destroy the place and not spare for the 50 righteous that were in it? Far be it from me from you to do such a thing as this, to slay the righteous with the wicked, so that the righteous should be as the wicked. Don't put them on equal level. Far be it from you. Shall not the judge of the earth do right? Yah, you are the judge of the earth. Should you not do fairly? So Yah said, if I find in Sodom 50 righteous within the city, then I will spare all the place for their sake. I'll let it slide for their sake. It's 50 righteous. I suspect Abraham knew there wasn't 50 righteous, so he goes and push it back even further. Then Abraham answered and said, indeed now, I am but dust in that. I'm nothing before you now. But I'm pushing this a little bit and taking it upon myself to speak to the Elohim. Suppose there were 5 less than the 50 righteous. Would you destroy all of the city for lack of 5? So he said, if I find there are 45, I will not destroy it. Speaking back to Abraham. Abraham pushes it even further. And he spoke to him yet again, Yah, and said, suppose there were 40 found there. So Yah responds, so he says, I will not do it for the sake of 40. Abraham pushes some more. Then he said, let not y'all be angry, and I will speak. Y'all don't be mad, and I will speak. Suppose 30 should be found there. Yah responds, so he said, I will not destroy it if they find 30 righteous there. So Abraham pushes a little bit more. But Yah responds, and he said, indeed, now, Abraham, as I said, pushes the envelope a little bit more. And he said, indeed, now, I have taken it upon myself. Speak to Yah. Suppose 20 should be found there. So Yah responds, and he said, I would not destroy it for the sake of 20 righteous. Then Abraham pushes the envelope again. And he said, let not Yah be angry, and I will speak. But once more, suppose 10 should be found there. 10 righteous, Abraham says to Yah, from 50 to 10. And Yah responds, and he said, I will not destroy it for the sake of 10 righteous. So Yah went his way as soon as he had finished speaking with Abraham. Abraham set himself in the gap to safeguard the righteous. First he went to 50, around to 45, and 40, 30, 20, 10. I suspect that Abraham knew it wasn't 10 good folks in there, but he didn't want those 10 good folks to suffer the consequences of the whole city, unlike us. Some of us have burned up the whole damn neighborhood. Grandma, grandpa, and their little children too. I don't care about none of them. We shouldn't have that type of mind. You should be like the rock you were hewn from. You shouldn't be self-righteous. Thinking you're better, thinking that you're better than sliced bread. Abraham had his shortcomings. Sarah, as we just found out, had her shortcomings. But they didn't want everybody to suffer because of their shortcomings and lose their lives. And he pushed the envelope from 50, or Abraham, from 50 to 10 people. I said that to say this. A lot of us should be like the rock we were hewn from. A little bit more compassionate, a little bit more concerned, a little bit more merciful, a little bit more kind, knowing that we're all humans. If there's any good humans there, you ought to look out for the safeguard and welfare of those humans, as Abraham exercised. Abraham didn't look out for his best interests. He looked out for the best interests of those righteous in Sodom and Gomorrah. And it was 10 good righteous people in Sodom and Gomorrah. The Most High wouldn't destroy it. Meaning we should stand in the gaps. No, not for the unrighteous, but certainly for the righteous. As the rock we were hewn from stood in the gap. Praise Yah. Lasagna, beloved, any comments on the commentary?
Thank you, Yamsu. No, I was just thinking to myself, Abraham, he knew that it wasn't that many righteous people in Sodom. I said that to myself as you was reading. I said it sounds like he knows. All praises.
Thank you, son. That's very astute of you. He certainly did know the son. That's why he pushed it from 50 to 45 to 40 to 30 to 20 and to 10.
Mhm,
And
he
so
knew.
we ought to be a little bit more humbler when it comes to human beings instead of being so judgmental. And that's what Abraham was exercising, being non-judgmental and looking, because he didn't know everything and everyone. So he couldn't blanket the whole city by this indictment that I expect he knew what was going on. So he didn't use a blanket indictment. And so he looked out for the welfare of those that were righteous in the city.
He
So
knew his nephew
it
was over
goes to
there
show,
too.
students, we need
Yeah.
to stop putting blanket indictments on everybody. You don't know everybody. That's what Lasagna says. And I think Lasagna, you were saying about y'all side, you want to know for himself, didn't he?
I said he knew his nephew was over there as well.
Exactly.
Mhm.
And so we need to start looking out for one another
Mhm.
and being like the rock we were hewn for. Isaiah chapter 51, verse 1 through 2. Be like the rock you were hewn from. Are good examples of how we should be. No, Sarah wasn't perfect. Abraham wasn't perfect, but they stayed in alignment with the Most High, as we should stay in alignment with the Most High, not justifying their positions or their shortcomings, but course correcting. That's what Abraham did. That's what Sarah did, and acknowledged their shortcomings. And even that, looking out for the shortcomings of others, instead of having a doomsday approach to everybody and everything. You don't know everybody, you don't know everything. Abraham, as Lasagna conceded the point, he knew his nephew was there, Lot, but beyond that, he didn't know anything. And he said, I hope there's other. I know my nephew there and his wife there and his two
Family,
daughters there.
right.
Right. And I hope it's 6 more people there. Well, you know how that.
4 people. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
4
4
already.
people.
That's
Yes,
4.
Lasagna.
And then his
4
so
people.
we already know what's gonna happen to his wife. So
Well, now, Lasagna, you actually said 3.
yeah,
She
right.
was
But
back.
initially we had 4. Initially she was
Uh-huh.
there too until she, you know,
Yeah, she
that's
longed.
until
Yeah, she was
yeah.
longing for her past,
Something.
longing for Lot. She didn't get a lot out of it. I thank you,
Went to
Lasagna.
Sodom. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Lasagna, it seems Elder Sister Thais didn't make an appearance tonight. No, Brother Katja. Well, Brother Katja, he's an elder like me. Sometimes you sit around and you take a nap before you know it, the nap is taking you. I suspect that is the case of Brother
I
Katja.
have done it.
What's that, Lasagna?
I said I have done the same thing.
Me too, Lasagna. You've caught me several times. All right, fellow students. That concludes our studies for tonight. I want to thank my lovely daughter of Zion, my Isha, my wife, Lasagna, who is the administrator of this program, who lends her voice into the ethos simply by being there, along with her comments and her commentaries. As all daughters of Zion should be doing to some extent, shape, form, or fashion. It is not the onus lies on Lasagna as a daughter of Zion. All our daughters of Zion bear this responsibility to some extent, same shape, form, and a fashion. I've issued the instructions as an elder of the nation, but the onus does not lie on me. It is not my responsibility alone. It's the responsibility of all the elders of the nation connected with Yah to instruct the nation, each and every area of our lives. And we're quite insufficient in those areas by lack of studies. But fellow students, Lasagna and I have played on. My lovely Esau as a daughter of Zion, I as the elder of the nation. I've instructed the nation by way of the Most High words, the rock we were hewn from, Abraham and Sarah. But it's up to you. Responsibility lies at your feet by way of these instructions. You must heed the instructions of the Most High. You must meditate on the instructions of the Most High. You must cling to the instructions of the Most High. You must trust the instructions of the Most High. You must let the instructions of the Most High be your pathway, leading by light, which is wisdom and understanding. But unfortunately, my brothers and sisters, strangers and foreigners alike, we've all been socially engineered and conditioned to the effect that we have been told that Yah is like some old man with early onset dementia and Alzheimer's, somewhere twiddling his thumb, drooling at the mouth, and don't know which way is up. That is far from the truth as can be. Is not Yah the creator of this universe? Did not Yah speak this universe into existence by his word? Is not his word forever? Is not this universe forever? It would give reason to believe that Yah is forever. And Yah is the creator. Yah is the Almighty, which leads us to believe that Yah doesn't need anything by way of the Greco-Romans, the Nicene Council, the Roman Catholic Church, and its derivative churches. Why? Because Yah's word is everlasting. Because Yah is everlasting. But Yah does need something from each of us, which is to heed its instructions, to activate his instructions, to utilize his instructions, to test his instructions. Simply says, the word of Yah works for each of us, and we activate it and utilize. It works if it works. Praise Yah and bless his holy name. Hallelujah. Now I will ask my lovely Isha Nasanya to say her shaloms and good nights. I will say mine, and we'll close out for the night. Praise Yah. Nasanya, may the Most High bless you. Your mic is hot.
Thank you, Sue. Shalom and good night, family.
Thank you, beloved. You heard my Isha. I'm going to lay him back off of you. Shalom and good night. And may the Most High bless you.
Yeah. Rachel is weeping. 14, face swollen in that river. Money, Mississippi in my mind like a mirror. Open casket picture in my grandma's hallway. Say his name soft, but the anger go all day. Tulsa in the smoke, houses turn to ash. They flew over Black Wall Street, lit it with a flash. You call it history, we call it still. We ain't forgot Emmett Till. Nah. Rosewood whispers in the pine at night. Woman 10 waves still rolling with her right. It's like I'm Texas blood in that red dirt. Forsyth, Georgia got ghosts in the church. Rachel is weeping. Can you hear that cry? Jeremiah 31. 15 in the sky. You ain't forgot what you tried to hide. You can't touch treasure, then just slide. Rachel is weeping. Echo through time. Everybody, every crooked line. You put hands on the children of the Most High. See, it don't work like that. You don't walk free. Bruce Beach saying where the laughter used to live. They stole land, stole life. Still we gotta give. Say move on. But the bones still talk. We built whole towns. They burned our blocks. They Taught the kids that it all just passed. Same old plate, try to bury it fast. But the ground remember every lash, every chain, every mama in the doorway choking on pain. Can you hear that cry? Jeremiah 31. 15 in the sky. You ain't forgot what you tried to hide. You can't touch treasure, then just slide. Rachel is weeping. Echo through time. Every buried body, every crooked line. You put hands on the children of the Most High. See, it don't work like that. You don't walk free. Judgment moves slow, but it still moves steady. Books stay open, pen stay ready. You wrote your story in our blood and our sweat. Now every name you erase, come collect that. Rachel is weeping. Can you hear that cry? Jeremiah 31. 15 in the sky. You ain't forgot what you tried to hide. You can't touch treasure, then just slide. Rachel is weeping. Echo through time. Every buried body, every crooked line. You put hands on the children of the Most High. See, it don't work like that. You don't walk free.